Hello. This is Huggie Pacino for the Huggie Pacino Effect. We're back with another video. So, PTSD versus schizophrenia. We're going to talk about both the definitions so we can know the difference between the two. And they both are not, and I repeat, are not alike. Two totally different things. Post-traumatic stress is not where you hear things. That's called hallucination or schizophrenia. Where you start having flashbacks of violent acts, any type of abuse or physical trauma is not schizophrenia as well. So let's educate the people on what PTSD and schizophrenia is. Alright, PTSD is a psychiatric disorder that can occur in people who have experienced or witnessed a traumatic event, such as a natural disaster, a serious accident, a terrorist act, war, combat, rape, or other violent personal assault. PTSD has been known by many names in the past, such as shell shock during the years of World War I and combat fatigue after World War II. But PTSD does not just happen to combat veterans. PTSD can occur in people, and and I repeat, people of all ethnicities, nationality, or culture, or in any age. PTSD affects approximately 3.5% of U.S. adults, and an estimate 1 in 11 people will be diagnosed with PTSD in a lifetime. Women are twice as likely as men to have PTSD. People with PTSD have intense, disturbing thoughts and feelings related to their experience that last long after the traumatic event has ended. Nothing about hearing anything. You want to make a note of that. They may relive the event through flashbacks or nightmares. They may feel sadness, fear, or anger, and they may feel detached or estranged from other people. People with PTSD may avoid situations or people that remind them of the traumatic event, and they may have strong negative reactions to something as ordinary as a loud noise or an accidental touch. A diagnosis of PTSD requires exposure to an upsetting traumatic event. However, exposure could be indirect rather than firsthand. For example, PTSD could occur in an individual learning about a violent death of a close family. It can also occur as a result of a repeated exposure to horrible details about trauma, such as a police officer exposed to details about child abuse cases. Symptoms and diagnosis. Symptoms of PTSD fall into 4 categories. Specific symptoms can vary in severity. Alright? Intrusive thoughts, such as repeated involuntary memories, distressing dreams, or flashbacks of a traumatic event. Flashbacks may be so vivid that people feel that they are reliving the traumatic experience and seeing it before their eyes. 2. Avoiding reminders of the traumatic event may include avoiding people, places, activities, objects, and situations that bring on distressing memories. People may try to avoid remembering or thinking about the traumatic event. They may resist talking about what happened or how they feel about it. 3. Negative thoughts and feelings may include ongoing and distorted beliefs about oneself or others. Or, example, I am bad. No one can be trusted. Ongoing fear, horror, anger, guilt, shame, much less interest in activities previously enjoyed, or feeling detached or estranged from others. 4. Arousal and reactive symptoms may include being irritable, having angry outbursts, behaving recklessly or in a self-destructive way, being easily startled, or having problems concentrating or sleeping. Many people who are exposed to a traumatic event experience symptoms like those described above in the days following the event for a person to be diagnosed with PTSD. However, symptoms last more than a month and often persist for months and sometimes years. Many individuals develop symptoms within 3 months of the trauma, but the symptoms may appear later. For people with PTSD, the symptoms cause significant distress and problems functioning. PTSD often occurs in other related conditions such as depression, substance abuse, memory problems, and other physical and mental health problems. All right. Related conditions: acute stress disorder. Acute stress disorder occurs in reaction to a traumatic event, such as PTSD does, and the symptoms are similar. However, the symptoms occur between 3 days and 1 month after the event. People with acute distress disorder may relive the trauma, having flashbacks and nightmares, and may feel numb and detached from themselves. 3 symptoms cause major distress and cause problems in their daily lives. About half of the people with acute stress disorder go on to have PTSD. An estimate 13 and 21% of survivors of car accidents develop acute stress disorder, and between 20 to 50% of survivors of assault, rape, and mass shootings develop it. Psychotherapy, including cognitive behavior therapy, can help control symptoms and help prevent them from getting worse and developing into PTSD. Medication, such as SSR antidepressants, can help ease the symptoms. So what is schizophrenia, you might ask? So what are hallucinations or schizophrenia? Hallucinations are sensory experiences that appear real but are created by your mind. They can affect all 5 of your senses. For example, you might hear a voice that no one else in the room can hear, or see an image that isn't real. These symptoms may be caused by mental illness, the side effects of medication, or physical illness like epilepsy, alcohol use disorder. You may need to visit a psychiatrist or neurologist or a general practitioner, depending on the cause of your hallucinations. Treatment may include taking medication to treat a health condition. The doctor may also recommend adopting different behaviors like drinking less alcohol and getting more sleep to improve your hallucinations. Types of hallucinations. Hallucinations may affect your vision, sense of smell, taste, hearing, and bodily sensations. Visual hallucinations. Visual hallucinations involve seeing things that aren't there. The hallucinations may be of objects, visual patterns, and people or lights. For example, you might see a person who's not in the room or flashing lights that no one else can see. Olfactory hallucinations. Olfactory hallucinations involve your sense of smell. You might smell an unpleasant odor when waking up in the middle of the night, or feel that your body smells bad when it doesn't. This type of hallucination can also include scents you find enjoyable, like the smell of flowers. Gustatory hallucinations. Gustatory hallucinations are similar to olfactory hallucinations, but they involve your sense of taste instead of smell. These tastes are often strange or unpleasant. Gustatory hallucinations, often with a metallic taste, are a relatively common symptom for people with epilepsy. Auditory hallucinations. Auditory hallucinations are among the most common type of hallucination. You might hear someone speaking to you or telling you to do certain things. The voice may be angry, neutral, or warm. Other examples of this type of hallucination include hearing sounds, like someone walking in the attic, or repeated clicking or tapping noises. Tactile hallucinations. Tactile hallucinations involve the feeling of touch or movement in the body. For example, you might feel that bugs are crawling on your skin, or that your internal organs are moving around. You might also feel the imagined touch of someone's hand on your body. Alright? What causes hallucinations? Mental health conditions. Mental illnesses are among the most common causes of hallucinations. Schizophrenia, dementia, and delirium are a few examples. Substance use. Substance use is another fairly common cause of hallucinations. Some people see and hear things that aren't there after drinking too much alcohol or taking drugs like cocaine. Hallucinogenics, drugs such as LSD, PCP, can also cause you to hallucinate. Lack of sleep. Not getting enough sleep can also lead to hallucinations. You may be more prone to hallucinations if you haven't slept in multiple days or don't get enough sleep over long periods of time. It's also possible to experience hallucinations right before falling asleep, known as hypnagogic hallucinations, or right before waking up from sleep, known as hypnopompic hallucinations. Medications. Certain medications taken for mental and physical health conditions can also cause hallucinations. Parkinson's disease, depression, psychosis, and epilepsy medications may sometimes trigger hallucination symptoms. Other conditions can also cause hallucinations that can include high fevers, especially in children and elderly, migraines, social isolation, particularly in adults, seizures, deafness, blindness, or other vision problems. Epilepsy. In some cases, epilepsy seizures can cause you to see flashing shapes and bright spots. Terminal illness such as stage 3 HIV, AIDS, brain cancer, kidney and liver failure. How are hallucinations diagnosed? The best thing to do is call your doctor right away if you suspect that your perceptions aren't real. Your doctor will ask about your symptoms and perform a physical exam. Additional tests might include a blood or urine test and perhaps a brain scan. If you know someone who's hallucinating, don't leave them alone. In some severe cases, fear or paranoia triggered by hallucinations can lead to a dangerous action or behaviors. Stay with the person at all times and go with them to the doctor for emotional support. You may also be able to help answer questions about their symptoms and how often they occur. How are hallucinations treated? Your doctor will be able to recommend the best form of treatment for you once they figure out what's causing your hallucinations. Medications. Treatment for hallucinations will depend entirely on their underlying cause. For example, if you're hallucinating due to severe alcohol withdrawals, your doctor might prescribe medications that help calm down your nervous system. However, if your hallucinations are caused by Parkinson's disease in a person with dementia, the same type of medication may not be beneficial, and other medications may be used. An accurate diagnosis is very important for treating the condition effectively. Counseling. Counseling might be a part of your treatment plan. This is particularly true if the underlying cause of your hallucinations is a mental health condition. Speaking with a counselor can help you get better understanding of what's happening to you. A counselor can also help you develop coping strategies, particularly for when you're feeling scared and paranoid. What can I expect in the long term? Recovery for hallucinations depend on the cause. If you're not sleeping enough or you're drinking too much, these behaviors can be adjusted. If your condition is caused by a mental illness like schizophrenia, taking the right medications can improve your hallucinations significantly. By seeing a doctor immediately and following a treatment plan, you're more likely to have positive long outcome. All right? What's the difference between PTSD and schizophrenia/hallucinations? Make sure you share this with a friend. If you know someone, make sure they get some type of help. Take them to go get diagnosed. In the meantime, I appreciate you all for watching this. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Share this information, and let's have an open discussion about these two issues because they are very concerning for a lot of us as human beings in America and worldwide. This is Huggie Pacino for the Huggie Pacino Effect. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.
Now that's Huggie Pacino certified.